Walking alone in the dead of night, creeping shadows giving me fright. Heart pounding, can't catch my breath. Something lurking, the fear of death.
Scary. Hike. Chapter 1. The Kennerdell Tunnel. Hey. Jacob called out to Emma and Michael as they walked together after school. I've got the most epic idea for this weekend. Emma raised an eyebrow. What's up, Jacob? Another one of your crazy schemes? Jacob grinned. You know me too well, Emma. But trust me, this one's going to be awesome. I want us to go on a hike along the Allegheny River Trail. Michael perked up. That actually sounds pretty cool. I've heard the views there are amazing. Oh, they are, Jacob agreed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. But that's not the best part. I want us to explore the Kennerdell Tunnel. They say it's haunted by some kind of creature. Emma frowned. Haunted? Come on, Jacob. You don't actually believe that, do you? Who cares if it's real or not? Jacob shrugged. It'll make for an incredible video. Just imagine the views I'll get when I post it on my channel. Michael shifted uncomfortably. I don't know, man. Hiking is one thing, but going into a creepy tunnel? That sounds like a bad idea. Jacob threw an arm around Michael's shoulders. Don't worry, bro. We'll stick together. It'll be a 2-day adventure. We'll hike the trail, camp out, under the stars, and then explore the tunnel. It'll be unforgettable. Emma sighed. I'm not sure about this, Jacob. What if something goes wrong? Nothing will go wrong, Jacob assured her. We've got each other's backs. Come on, guys. Michael nodded slowly. I guess it could be fun. I've been wanting to test out my new camping gear. Emma bit her lip, considering the proposal. Fine, she relented. But we need to be prepared. We'll bring plenty of supplies and make sure someone knows where we're going. Yes! Jacob pumped his fist in the air. You guys are the best. Trust me, this is going to be the adventure of a lifetime. As they walked home, the 3 friends started planning their trip, discussing what to pack and how to get to the trail. Jacob couldn't stop talking about the Kennerdell Tunnel and the mysterious creature that supposedly lurked inside. Emma and Michael exchanged glances, both excited and apprehensive about the upcoming hike. Little did they know that their adventure would turn out to be more than they ever bargained for. Chapter 2. Unsettling Presence. As the sun rose above the horizon, Jacob, Emma, and Michael set out on their hiking adventure along the Allegheny River Trail. The morning air was crisp and invigorating, filling their lungs with the scent of pine and damp earth. The trail wound through dense forests, offering glimpses of the shimmering river below. This is incredible, Jacob exclaimed, pulling out his camera to capture the stunning scenery. My followers are going to love this. Emma smiled, taking in the peaceful surroundings. I have to admit, Jacob, this was a great idea. It's so beautiful out here. Michael nodded in agreement, adjusting his backpack. Yeah, man. I'm glad we decided to do this. It's nice to get away from the city for a while. As they hiked deeper into the forest, the trio fell into a comfortable rhythm, their footsteps crunching on the well-worn path. Jacob continued to document their journey, snapping photos and recording short videos for his social media channels. Hey, remember that time in middle school when we went on that field trip to the science museum? Emma asked, grinning at the memory. Michael laughed. Oh, yeah. And Jacob got us in trouble for trying to touch every single exhibit. Jacob shrugged, a mischievous smile on his face. What can I say? I'm a hands-on learner. The friends shared stories and laughter as they hiked, reminiscing about their childhood adventures and dreaming about their future plans. The trail seemed to stretch on forever, but they didn't mind, enjoying each other's company and the natural beauty surrounding them. As the day wore on, they finally approached the infamous Kennerdell Tunnel. The atmosphere seemed to shift, an unsettling stillness settling over the area. The tunnel's entrance loomed before them, dark and foreboding, like the gaping maw of some ancient beast. Emma shivered, rubbing her arms. Is it just me, or is the energy strong in this place? Michael frowned, his brow furrowed. Yeah, I feel it too. It's like the air is heavier here. Jacob, however, seemed undeterred. He stepped closer to the tunnel, his camera at the ready. This is perfect. The creepier the better for the video. As they drew nearer to the entrance, a strange odor wafted from within the tunnel. It was a sickly, sweet scent, tinged with something unidentifiable and unpleasant. The trio exchanged uneasy glances, their earlier excitement giving way to apprehension. I don't know about this, Jacob, Emma said, her voice tight with worry. Maybe we should just skip the tunnel and keep hiking. Michael nodded, his eyes fixed on the dark entrance. Yeah, man. Something doesn't feel right. We don't know what's in there. Jacob hesitated, torn between his desire for an exciting video and the growing sense of unease. He looked back at his friends, seeing the concern etched on their faces. Okay, he conceded, lowering his camera. Let's take a break and think about this. We don't have to go in if you guys aren't comfortable with it. The trio found a nearby clearing and set down their packs, each lost in their own thoughts. The strange odor lingered in the air, a constant reminder of the tunnel's unsettling presence. As they rested, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching them from the depths of the Kennerdell Tunnel, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Chapter 3: Something Evil. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jacob, Emma, and Michael set up camp in a small clearing near the Kennerdell Tunnel. They pitched their tents and gathered firewood, trying to ignore the growing sense of unease that seemed to permeate the air. Once the campfire was crackling and the stars began to twinkle overhead, the trio huddled around the warmth, seeking comfort in each other's presence. Jacob, in an attempt to lighten the mood, suggested they tell ghost stories. I'll go first, he said, grinning mischievously. Have you guys ever heard the legend of the Wendigo? As Jacob wove the tale of the mythical creature, Emma and Michael listened intently, their eyes wide and their hearts pounding. The story seemed to take on a life of its own, the shadows cast by the flickering flames dancing across their faces like ghostly apparitions. Suddenly, a bone-chilling howl pierced the night, causing the three friends to freeze in terror. The sound was unlike anything they had ever heard before, a primal and haunting cry that seemed to come from the depths of the tunnel itself. Jacob, his eyes gleaming with a mix of fear and excitement, grabbed his camera. Did you hear that? He whispered, his voice trembling slightly. I have to get this on video. Emma reached out, grasping his arm. Jacob, no. We don't know what's out there, it's not safe. But Jacob shrugged off her concerns, his determination to capture the moment for his followers overpowering his better judgment. I'll just be a minute. You guys stay here. With that, he ventured into the darkness, his camera held aloft like a talisman against the unknown. Emma and Michael exchanged a worried glance, their hearts heavy with the weight of their friend's reckless decision. We can't let him go alone, Michael said, his jaw set with resolve. We have to stick together. Emma nodded, her fear giving way to a fierce protectiveness. You're right. Let's go. The two friends grabbed their flashlights and followed Jacob into the inky blackness of the Kennerdell Tunnel. The air grew colder as they walked, the strange odor from earlier intensifying with each step. Their flashlights barely penetrated the thick darkness, casting eerie shadows on the damp walls. Jacob? Emma called out, her voice echoing through the tunnel. Where are you? A muffled response came from somewhere ahead, followed by the sound of footsteps. Emma and Michael quickened their pace, their hearts racing as they navigated the twisting passageway. As they rounded a corner, they found Jacob standing motionless, his camera pointed towards a dark recess in the tunnel wall. His face was ashen, his eyes wide with terror. What is it? Michael asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Jacob shook his head, unable to speak. Emma and Michael followed his gaze, their flashlights illuminating the recess. What they saw there, lurking in the shadows, was like nothing they have ever seen before. A pair of glowing eyes stared back at them, filled with an ancient hunger that seemed to consume the very air around them. The creature, if it could be called that, was unlike anything they had ever seen. Its form was twisted and malformed, a grotesque amalgamation of man and beast. As it stepped forward, its movements jerky and unnatural, the friends knew that they were in the presence of something truly evil. Chapter 4. The Susquehannock Tribe. In the face of the abomination before them, Jacob, Emma, and Michael found themselves paralyzed with fear. The creature's eyes, glowing with an unearthly light, seemed to pierce through their very souls, filling them with a sense of dread that they had never experienced before. As they stood there frozen in terror, the creature began to speak, its voice a guttural whisper that echoed through the tunnel. "You have trespassed on sacred ground," it rasped, its words dripping with malice. "Now you must pay the price." Jacob, his camera still recording, managed to find his voice. "What are you?" he asked, his words trembling. "What do you want from us?" The creature let out a low, menacing chuckle. "I am the manifestation of an ancient curse, born from the anguish and rage of the Susquehannock tribe who once called these lands home." Emma's eyes widened with recognition. The Susquehannock. I've read about them. They were a Native American tribe that lived in this area centuries ago. The creature nodded, its grotesque features twisting into a sneer. Yes, and they were wronged by the white man, their land stolen and their people slaughtered. In their desperation, the tribe's shamans called upon dark forces to exact their revenge, but the rituals went awry, and the curse was born. Michael, his mind racing, pieces together the clues. The missing hikers, the strange sightings. It's all because of you, isn't it? The creature's eyes gleamed with a sickening pride. I am the guardian of this place, the embodiment of the tribe's rage. All who enter here must face the consequences of the past. Jacob, his curiosity overtaking his fear, pressed on. But why now? Why reveal yourself to us? The creature's gaze bore into Jacob, its voice dropping to a whisper. Because you, with your foolish desire for fame and recognition, have brought the curse to the attention of the world. The more people who come here, drawn by your stories, the stronger I become. Emma, her heart pounding, realized the gravity of their situation. We have to stop this, she said, her voice shaking. We can't let anyone else fall victim to this curse. The creature laughed, a sound that chilled them to the bone. You cannot stop what has been set in motion. The curse will only grow stronger, feeding on the fear and suffering of those who dare to enter this place. Michael, his fists clenched, stepped forward. No, we won't let that happen. We'll find a way to break this curse, to set things right. The creature's eyes narrowed, its form shifting and writhing in the darkness. You are welcome to try, but know this: the curse of the Susquehannock will not be easily broken. You have brought this upon yourselves, and now you must face the consequences. With those final words, the creature vanished into the shadows of the tunnel, leaving the three friends alone with the weight of their discovery. As they made their way back to the campsite, their minds reeling from the revelations of the night, Jacob, Emma, and Michael knew that they had stumbled upon a curse that had lain dormant for centuries, and now it was up to them to find a way to break it, no matter the cost. As the trio sat around the campfire, still shaken from their encounter with the creature, Emma pulled out her tablet, desperate to find any information that could help them understand the curse they had uncovered. "Guys, listen to this," she said, her eyes scanning the screen. "I found an old legend about the Susquehannock tribe and how the curse came to be." Jacob and Michael huddled closer, their faces illuminated by the glow of the tablet and the flickering flames of the campfire. Emma began to read, her voice steady despite the weight of the words. Long ago, when the Susquehannock people thrived in these lands, there was a young warrior named Ahanu. He was known for his bravery and his deep connection to the spirits of the forest. She scrolled down, continuing the tale. One day, a group of white settlers arrived, seeking to claim the land for themselves. They attacked the Susquehannock village, and in the chaos, Ahanu's beloved wife, Nara, was killed. Michael shook his head. "That's horrible. I can't even imagine." Emma nodded, her eyes still fixed on the tablet. Consumed by grief and rage, Ahanu turned to the tribe's shamans, begging them to help him avenge Nara's death. The shamans warned him that the path he sought was one of darkness, but Ahanu was blinded by his pain. Jacob leaned forward, his voice hushed. "What did they do?" The shamans performed a forbidden ritual, calling upon the most ancient and powerful spirits of the land. Emma read, her voice trembling slightly. They offered Ahanu's body as a vessel for these spirits, promising him the strength to destroy the settlers and protect his people. Michael's eyes widened. "But something went wrong, didn't it?" Emma nodded grimly. The spirits that entered Ahanu's body were not the guardians the shamans had hoped for. They were twisted, malevolent entities that had been trapped in the depths of the underworld. When they took control of Ahanu, he became a creature of pure evil, consumed by an insatiable hunger for vengeance. Jacob ran a hand through his hair, his face pale. "And that's the creature we saw in the tunnel?" "Yes," Emma confirmed, her voice heavy with the weight of the revelation. "Ahanu, or what's left of him, has been trapped here for centuries, bound by the curse that the shamans unwittingly created. He preys upon anyone who enters the tunnel, feeding on their fear and suffering." Michael shook his head, disbelief etched on his features. "But why didn't the tribe try to stop him? Couldn't they see what he had become?" Emma scrolled further down the page, her brow furrowed. "It says here that the shamans, realizing the gravity of their mistake, tried to banish Ahanu from this world. They performed another ritual, but it only succeeded in binding him to the tunnel, unable to leave, but still able to terrorize those who entered." Jacob, his face set with determination, spoke up. "So how do we break the curse? There has to be a way to stop this thing." Emma's eyes scanned the tablet, searching for any clues. "The legend says that, only by confronting the curse at its source, by facing the pain and anger that created it, can the cycle be broken. But it warns that the path to redemption is treacherous and that many have tried and failed to lift the curse. As the weight of Emma's words settled over the group, they realized the enormity of the task before them. Chapter 5. Encounter with the Cursed. As the night wore on, exhaustion finally overtook Jacob, Emma, and Michael, and they drifted off into an uneasy sleep. Unbeknownst to them, they all began to dream the same vivid, haunting dream. In the dream, they found themselves standing once again in the dark, damp tunnel, the creature looming before them. But this time, instead of feeling paralyzed by fear, they each felt a flicker of courage igniting within their hearts. Jacob stepped forward, his voice steady. "We know about the curse, Ahanu. We know the pain and anger that created you." The creature snarled, its eyes glowing with malice. "You know nothing of my suffering, of the injustice that was done to me and my people." Emma, her voice filled with compassion, spoke next. "But we do understand, Ahanu. We understand the depth of your loss, the rage that consumes you. But this path of vengeance, it will never bring you peace." The creature hesitated, its form shifting and writhing in the shadows. "Peace is not possible for me. I am cursed to walk this earth, forever bound by the darkness that created me." Michael, his eyes filled with a quiet strength, met the creature's gaze. "No, Ahanu. You are not bound by this curse. You have the power to break free, to find the light again." As they spoke, the creature became increasingly agitated, its attacks growing more fierce and desperate. But the three friends stood their ground, their words of love and courage piercing through the veil of darkness that surrounded Ahanu. "Let go of your pain, Ahanu," Jacob urged, his hand outstretched. "Release the anger that has consumed you for so long." Emma, tears streaming down her face, added, "Find the peace that you have been denied for centuries. Let the love of your people, the love of Nara, guide you back to the light." The creature, its form beginning to flicker and fade, let out a long, mournful howl. I am so tired. Tired of the darkness, the endless cycle of hate and fear." Michael, his voice filled with understanding, spoke softly. "Then let it go, Ahanu. Embrace the love and forgiveness that has always been waiting for you." As the three friends continued to speak words of love and courage, the creature's form began to change, the darkness melting away to reveal the spirit of the young warrior Ahanu had once been. His eyes, no longer filled with malice, shone with a newfound peace. "Thank you," Ahanu whispered, his voice filled with gratitude. "You have shown me the path to redemption, the way to break the curse that has held me for so long." With those final words, Ahanu's spirit faded away. The curse that had haunted the tunnel for centuries finally lifted. Jacob, Emma, and Michael awoke from their shared dream, the weight of the darkness that had oppressed them gone, replaced by a sense of peace and unity. They emerged from the tunnel, the dawn's light filtering through the trees, a symbol of the new beginning that awaited them. They had faced their fears, confronted the darkness, and emerged stronger, their friendship forged in the fires of adversity. As they made their way back down the trail, Jacob, Emma, and Michael knew that their lives had been forever changed by their encounter with the cursed tunnel. But they also knew that, together, they could face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and find the light in even the darkest of places. The end.